Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Fret, where I am playing, my god, Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did even more of our beautiful little job quests. And this episode we're going to go and begin with doing some hunting log stuff, and then we're going to go and move on to, I think, one more job quest, and then we're going to do the thing. Yes, now then we're going to start doing dungeons. And probably continue with the hunting log in the meantime. We're just basically gonna, like, continue the stuff that we were doing before. You know, the stuff that we've been doing the last... I don't even remember how many freaking hours. Nice. People fighting some freaking dudes. Probably also for his hunting log. If I... Oh wait, a dodo. Don't you get, like, eggs from dodos? He might just be fighting the dodos for their eggs. Which would be kind of bad, because I need them for my hunting log. We're gonna do a normal one. Sometimes you have people farming certain enemies just for their materials to craft with. Alright, let's try and get rid of these dodos. As we learn resurrection. Yes, my friends, we can res. Also, this dude is... He is farming these enemies. That is also nice enough to leave some enemies for free. So that is quite nice. There we go. Right. I did level up again. Which means I can now wear this hempen robe. Let's see. Anything else? Yes. Arbor buzzards. And dusk bats. They are the buzzards. Here's a buzzard! Let me also go and put my resurrection on my usual button that I put it on. At some point we'll get swift cast too, so you can basically res somebody. Well, you can res anybody really, which is really useful. Not only does Summoner do a pretty sizable amount of damage, at least since Endwalker. I'm not sure about how it was before, but not only can it do that, it can also res. You can't really heal, I would say, but you can res, so. If you use, once again, if you use Physic as a summoner, you're not gonna get jack from freaking healing. So I would not recommend it at all. There's some more enemies for me to beat. Only a little bit higher level than me. Yeah, once again, these first couple of episodes are going to be like this, where I'm going to be doing still a lot of this hunting log stuff on camera. But then once we start unlocking dungeons, I'll start doing this stuff off camera again. You can trust me. You won't have to suffer through more of these episodes of me just doing hunting log. Holy balls. I was wondering, like, that does not seem familiar, this enemy. And now I can see why. Okay. Dusk bats and hedge moles. I'm Sonic. Sonic the hedge mole. I've not played a Sonic game in a while. But I've also not enjoyed the last one I played. Which was... the Sonic Forces when it came out. Quite a freaking disappointment, not gonna lie. But oh well. Not the first time that I've been disappointed by a Sonic game. Probably won't be the last time either, unfortunately enough. What? Oh, I see. I was a bit confused, but this has something to do with the fate over here. Let's whoopsie. That's all hedge moles done. Ba, ba, ba. As we learn, lucid dreaming. With Black Mage, lucid dreaming is not that useful, but with any other caster, lucid dreaming is, as long as you're doing good damage, especially at later points in the game, once you keep your rotation up and continuously do a massive amount of damage, or like as long as you continue playing good, basically, you should probably at some point have to use lucid dreaming. It's either that or when you use a res, because a res is still 2400 MP. Man, I love this like early game hunting logs where you can just be in one place and just kill one enemy after the other. If you haven't noticed it quite yet, the hunting log, like the enemies in the hunting log, are based on what you would run into in the main story. Basically. So now I'm running into a lot of enemies in Lanoche because my story would normally take me around Lanoche a little bit. Then at some point I would move to Gridania for like the dungeon stuff at some point. The same as with Limsa, like in the other way around with the other hunting logs. So usually the enemies in your hunting log are enemies that you would run into if you are doing the normal quests. Right, Killer Mantis, and that is all. Any more gear? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! We're level 15 now. Nice. Only one more level and we can start doing dungeons with our Arcanist. Leveling up like that. Alright. And since we have all this gear right now, we're gonna start doing a lot more damage. Oh yeah. Do I have a book actually? I do have a level 28 book. Okay. I also have like a high level book, but that's for, you know, later. Who would have expected that? Oh wait, isn't this like the gear where I have no freaking pants on? Yes. Yes, I once again got a view of how little pants my character actually wears. Basically no pants. It doesn't exist. Pants is optional. So that's one more enemy in Lower Lanoche. Two more enemies in Lower Lanoche. And one more in Upper. Okay. Gucci. Now let me go and switch over to my rogue. And let me go and teleport over here. I'll just go and begin once again at the plains and then we'll level up when we move towards this side. Let me actually go and take a look at the enemies that I need. Well, whatever. I was thinking about maybe cutting this out, but nah, it's fine. For 1 or 2 episodes, it's fine because it also gives you like a kind of an idea of how certain jobs work in the beginning. Because I haven't really shown like that much actual fighting gameplay of a lot of the jobs that I've unlocked and leveled to level 50. But once again, I also just don't really want to... I don't really want to make you guys just suffer through... suffer through me grinding endless dungeons. And for a lot of levels, not much changes, except maybe like an AoE gets added or something. But other than that, I can explain what happens outside of having to do a dungeon. You know, while I'm here, might as well just go and finish off this fight. As we done ourselves a bloodbath. Which I think is a skill that we got. As a monk. It's just lifesteal, basically. A portion of the damage you deal is gonna get converted into HP. Also, serum balls. There we go. That should be everything around here then. These boys? No. Don't need these boys. I will probably need all of these boys though, yeah. Or in any case, a lot of these enemies. I just remembered the game that I wanted to go and buy and play. It's been a while since I've bought a game, and actually, this is gonna sound insane, but after I beat Elden Ring, it's been a while since I played another game other than this. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for ever, basically. I've been playing this game almost non-stop for the last, like... How long? It's long in any case. Don't remember how long specifically, but... I have been playing this game for a long time now. Not a long time. I guess for some people it'll be like multiple years. For me it's, I think, a little over half a year. I've in any case played it a lot. I haven't played it that long maybe, but I have played it a lot. I do have a lot of hours on this game. I already have, it has already like exceeded the maximum amount of time I've spent on the game ever. So yeah. Now thinking about it, now I'm level 13. Can I equip some gear? Yes, I can equip this cotton turban. Son of a bitch, why did I attack that thing? War! For XP! No, not really. And now we get these things which are apparently pelicans. Them's a fucked up pelican right there. One more. And then I'll have to go and take a look at the hunting log again. Right. As we learn, all fours. Lower, lower. Okay, we need those ones. And then 2 more enemies in Western. So, what does all fours do for you? Well, it reduces damage taken when falling. Which makes sense as a rogue. But... it's not very useful in a practical situation. It's a little bit unfortunate, but whatever. I'm just gonna ignore that, because I don't want to deal with that. I wonder what these enemies actually look like. Crazy. Son of a bitch. I wanted to run. Okay, so now I need to go over to lower the notch for most enemies that I still need. Right. My favorite place. Lower the notch. A little bit of a pain to maneuver yourself in because there's only one aetheroid at the bottom of the map. Okay, so Morbi moles at the God's Grip. Huh. Here they are. As they make very interesting sounds. They also look kind of crazy. Wow, Jesus Christ, what is this? Never actually took a proper look at these enemies. They are a little bit weird. Why are there so many hunting monsters around? I've run into a lot of them today already. Okay. As we reach level 15, which allows me to equip the entire foe striker stuff. But since we are here, I'm going to continue with my hunting log. With killing some Kikirin. You are talking to your friend who is now getting stabbed. Right. So that leaves us with 2 enemies in upper notch for my rogue. Right, so Muscles Gubu and more Kikirin. Okay. So I need to find a Gubu and kill these enemies. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. Some dude's just like murdering crabs. Another level up. Oh my god. The power, it swells within me. I can see a Gubu. My boy. There we go. How many do I need to beat for this? 3. Usually when it's like bigger enemies, they don't make you fight that many of them. With the emphasis on usually. But not today. Today I will fight 3 Gubus. And in the future, I will probably fight a lot more of them. Right. And there we go. That is everything done that I can do at the moment, unless if I want to go to the north. The Nosh, which I will do when I'm queuing up for dungeons. Whoopsie. Right. But first... Ah yes, I forgot about my hair clipping through my freaking cap. Right. You seem tired, Lynn. Are you sleeping properly? One's reasoning can suffer without sufficient rest and recuperation. Should you deem yourself fit for duty, pray make your way down to the practice floor for Seer Clea has requested you accompany her on another official inspection. There is, however, a requirement for your participation. The Foreseer will explain the situation. Blah, 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 blah. So we get Topaz teachings. I was beginning to think I'd miscalculated then. Thank you for coming. I will soon be boarding a trading vessel suspected of smuggling. All merchant ships that make use of limb settlements as ports are subject to inspection by Melvian's Gate assessors. It is a routine I perform daily. In the case of smugglers, however, there's a 75% probability of encountering resistance. Thus, I would appreciate your company during this assignment. It is now that we must discuss the requirement of which you were informed. Though I have full confidence in your martial expertise, it is imperative that you first acquire the ability to summon a Topaz Carbuncle. Such knowledge will be released to you contingent on your acceptance of this duty. Yes? Very good. The arcane entity given form by the Topaz geometry will further expand your offensive capabilities. With such an ally at your command, even the harshest of enemies will falter before you. Indeed, we could not conduct these dangerous spot inspections without its support. Please return to Mr. Stibbergain and inform her of your participation. I will join you once I have completed some final adjustments to my tactical formula. Run, bitch, run! You have agreed to accompany the Foreseer? Then I shall gladly instruct you in the use of Topaz Carbuncle. Pray do not hesitate to employ this entity in combat should the inspection turn sour. So we get Enhanced Ether Charge, which grants Ruby Arcanum and Topaz Arcanum. So we now get Summon Topaz. Rushes target and deals earth damage with a potency of 400. Also gives us 4 stacks of Earth Attunement. And then Gem Shine and Precious Brilliance become Earth aspected. So we get 4 shots of... So instead of having Ruby Ruin, we now get Topaz Ruin. And we get 4 stacks of it. Also, the other thing is that they instacast. They're gonna be instacast at that point. If you will permit me, I will go and fill my glass of soda, because I need some stuff to fuel my freaking... Well, I just need something to help my throat a little bit. Might as well be some soda, because why not? Right, I'm gonna take a drink. There we go. Excellent. The mercenaries Geisfern and Erstota are here to assist with the inspection. Both are hands when it comes to escorting Clea during her more dangerous duties. Both are old hands, there we go. Well met, Lynn. My spells are at your disposal. This won't be the first time we're expecting trouble, but as long as we follow the Foreseer's tactics and keep a clear head, we'll come through just fine. The Morning Star is preparing to dock in Aleport. We will meet our first challenge. However, before we even board the vessel. It is almost a certainty that the merchant ship has hired a stag or two to accost us at the pier. I'll calculate the probability of at 98%. The crew wish to avoid attacking us on deck, you see? As that would all but trumpet their criminal intentions to the world at large. Now, once we do manage to clear the rails, we will face a deck crowded with armed sailors. For a small party such as ours, the most effective strategy will be to incapacitate individual foes as swiftly as possible. Each opponent we down is one less weapon raised against us. It is imperative that we do not allow ourselves to become tangled in multiple drawn-out skirmishes lest we be overwhelmed. I call this Stratagem Hammerfall. Strategy is a tool used to manipulate one's situation into the desired reality. Keep those words in mind, Lynn. It is time we depart. Let us regroup before the main gates of Aleport. Okay. Well, I will do that. I will do that. But I will first go and get my rogue quest 2 while I'm at it. Stifled Screams. Nice. Hello. Ah, Lynn. Just the more I was hoping to see. We've got some nasty trouble brewing. The client's on his way, so sit tight and pay attention. Call an underfoot and Astray on this, in on this as well. It'll be a little rogue family reunion. Jack, the client's arrived. Our guest here has come from the Maelstrom Command, with confidential orders direct from the Admiral himself. So we know this won't be a simple job. I'm afraid your guildmaster speaks truly. It was several days ago when an emaciated man stumbled into one of our camps seeking aid. Upon questioning the poor fellow, we discovered that he had narrowly escaped a life of slavery. He claimed that pirates had raided his village, abducting him and many others to sell on the black market auction block. We dispatched a patrol to confirm the tale and found the village almost completely destroyed. It was a meager settlement without so much as a guardhouse. Thus did its unkind fate escape our notice until now. You'd think these pirates had never even heard of the code. Pillaging honest culls and dipping their wicks in the slave trade? They're headed the right way for a good stabbing. Aye, though it ain't set down in so many wits. The code's notoriously unforgiving against those as raised weapons against the weak. After all, the pirates in these parts were culls or was fleeing oppression in the northern seas. Ignore your history, and you risk becoming what it was you hated most. So, you have a mark for us then? That we do. From the descriptions given to us by the escaped villagers, we've determined that these lawbreakers are members of the Jolly Merchants, a pirate crew in possession of an official privateering license. It would appear, however, that privateering has been naught but a screen, behind which to hide their illicit activities. One can only imagine how many other Lominsan citizens have fallen prey to these wicked slavers. We've had it happen right under our very noses. Naturally, the Admiral desires a swift resolution to this incalamity, but merely tracking down those poor souls who have already been sold is proving heavily taxing to our allocated resources. We could throw more soldiers at the problem, but that runs the risk of drawing the small folks' attention and inciting undue panic. Thus, do we come to the Rogues Guild for help. We ask that you eliminate the Jolly Merchants and liberate the villagers presently in their custody, and that you do so with the utmost discretion. Consider it done. When those nasty coves all feel our sword blades pricking into their backs, then enjoy but a brief moment of regret, for the code is rightly enforced. Alright, let's get to work. I'll be going after the Jolly Merchant myself. Underfoot, ffXIV, you two will lend your skills to the Maelstrom's investigation, and see what you can whittle about the culls what have already been sold. Then you're coming with me. I think you're ready for the next step of your education. Nod. Shall we get after these slaving cutthroats then? Our client tells me that the Jolly merchantman set sail from Aleport a few bells ago. Oh, aye. They might even board an Imperial ship or two, but that's just some mummery they're putting on to amuse the Admiral's swats. I reckon the rest of the crew will be back on land, looking to snap the shackles in a fresh herd of chattel. And just to prove my theory right, one of them jolly bastards got himself spotted creeping about the Ruffmans in Lower Lanosh. There's a Bene Cove over... Bene, I think it is. Whatever. Cove over at the Morby dry docks by the name of Swartzend. What a likely know the full story. He's more of a shipwright than a rogue these days, but he keeps his glazes keen for the guild. Head over and have yourself a prattle, and I'll join you soon, like. Right. Let's go and do the rogue one first, I guess. Stifled scream. Okay. Once again, a piece of armor which has no pants. Just panties. What the fuck? Whatever. Hello. Oh, I know what you are. What can old Swartzen do for you? Hunting on Jolly Merchant slavers. Huh, well that explains a few things. I was keeping an eye on the bustle about the dry docks, you see, when I spied an odd trio off in the distance. This rough-looking sod, one of your pirates, I'd wager, was putting along another bloke and this poor skinny lass. Son of it, I've seen a whipped curse less miserable than the two being herded. Last I saw, they were headed south. If what you're saying about the slavery business is true, then a jolly merchant's not going to walk his charges all the way to the market. No, he likely has a boat waiting for him. And if I were a slaver heading south, my vessel would be hidden somewhere along the salt strands. That doesn't leave you much time. Mr. Jack was on his way, yes? You'd best go on ahead, and I'll point him in the direction when he gets there. When he gets here. Fortune came through for us, eh? No. What do we got here? This looks a charmer. Sudden move, I told you. Me peg like grandma obbles quicker than you miserable sacks of shite. Maybe you need another thrashing, is that it? You already forgot what happened. What happened when you try my generous patience? Sorry, please, no more beatings. We walked as fast as we could, but we need food, water. And get in the boat and shut your traps. We'll get fed when we reach the other side. The other side? Where are you taking us? Are you challenging me or just plain daft? I told you to keep your blatant mouth shut. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Leviathan scaly arse, she's weeping again. Listen, we're headed to Airport, alright? That's where me and my shipmates gather to take stock of the merchandise and decide what gets sold here. Where? You see, some buyers want only lads, while others is looking for lasses. As long as we keep these rich bastards happy, we make more coin than we ever did scrapping with the Empire's war galleys. Not that you care about that, I suppose. Matters to you is that you'll be loaded onto the jolly merchantmen, sailed off to God's knows where, and Lims'll be a distant memory. So if I was you, I'd fill that empty belly with one last big gob full of sweet Lanosian sea breeze. I'm sort of tempted to put a blade twixt his eyes here and now. That won't get the job done. No, we'll let him guide us to his mates in Airport, and we'll mill the whole bloody lot of them. Jolly merchants will get their due. Don't you worry about that. They've gone. You'd best hurry to Airport, unless you have a quicker way. There's a ferry with leaves from Candlekeep Key. I'll meet you across the water, lass. Nod. Also, I have an annoying left hand. Not my gaming hand! Must resist the urge to look at my character and then accidentally get another freaking panty shot. Yeah, I'd rather not. Alright, Jack. Lynn. That jolly merchant's cove is still with his captives. Seems they've taken a room under an alias. Hiding their operation in plain sight. Bold as brass, aye, but it's an old slaver's trick. See, even if some cull recognize the merchandise, only a single handler gets burned. The rest of the crew just whistles, all innocent-like, while their mate is marched off to cry cockles. And you bet they've threatened bloody murder for any prisoner which raises a hue and cry. Patience now, lass. We'll just wait until we're sure that all these black hordes have arrived. Meanwhile, you'd better sharpen your stabbers. Got a busy night ahead of us. Ready for the job then? Once the jolly merchants are all here, we'll ambush the sods and set their captives free. That ought to be long enough. Just have to hope there ain't any stragglers. Listen closely now, lass. The merchants are disguised as plain old adventurers, and have settled themselves in 3 separate rooms here in the airport. How do we whittle which coves are the merchants? Easy. Take a look at the daddles of that bingo swilling cull over yonder. He's wearing lavender gloves, the exact same type what that nasty sod at the salt strand had on. That'll be how they find each other in a crowd. Of course, it's also how I whittled to where each of the bastards were staying. Just snilch the hopeless glazes of the company they keep, and you can be sure you found your mark. So here's the job all laid out for you. We hit all 3 common rooms, mill the merchants, quick and dirty like, and get those captives their bleeding lives back. Alright? Oi! The storeroom's door's been forced open. Some thieving sot's been at the ale. Well, they can't have gotten far. Better get the last to do a sweep at the port. Ugh, where's that merchant Cove Gulp and Pilfered Ale? You'd think they'd be doing their best not to draw attention to themselves. All things considered, bloody oafs. And I've got a swarm of yellow jackets buzzing about, looking for blood. They spot us wandering around in the darkments. I have a feeling they'll act first and ask questions later. It'd be best then if the patrols never even knew he was here. We'll slip as sneaky as we can into each of the common rooms and use them telltale lavender gruffs to identify our marks. There's innocent culls in there as well, mind, so let's try not to stab any as don't deserve it, eh? I'm thinking we should head out one at a time to better avoid them yellow jackets. So I'll let you take the lead. After you, Lynn. Right, gotta watch out for the yellow jackets. I do seem to remember this being a pain in the butt when I originally did it, but I also didn't pay attention to what people were saying in the cutscenes. So now I know what I need to look for, but before I didn't. So I just randomly attacked people. Basically. Right. Get out of my face! So I basically like killed the entire time, I seem to remember. Hello, Lalafel. Let's get you free. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You'll have to do it. Saving people from horrible people. It's the best. Right. Very inconspicuous, my friends. Pray take your disagreement outside. Well, no. Then I'll get attacked by the Jello Jackets. Another sad Lalafell. I'm free? Yes, you are. Have fun. Have fun being wild and free and pure. Please, Jello Jackets, do not touch me. I'm not You're not getting permission to touch me. Right. Excuse me. Yeah, you're the dude from earlier, and these are the 2 people from earlier. Cool, I get to kill you. That's the best. Now die. Suddenly he's there. Back into the shadows. No. Hands off of the merchandise. Well, I guess. Oh, I love me a good scrap. Wow. Or these dudes just don't stop coming. They don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. There we go. Not a bad night's work, eh, Lynn? The maelstrom will be, it'll be taken care of. Them poor culls we freed, and I've made sure none of the merchants we don't are like to get up again. As for the jolly merchantman, well, our crew can expect a visit from the admiral's finest galleys, and it won't be for tea and crumpets on the poop deck. All right, me natty lass, our part in this is done. Time to head back to the sisters. Excuse me, are you the ones who freed us? Aye. Was there something else we could do for you, miss? The Maelstrom Swartz will take you home if that's what you're worried about. Oh no, I know, I just wanted to... Thank you. If I may, there was one thing I wish to tell you. Moments before you rescued me, that dreadful pirate was muttering into his caps. It was something about another raiding party that hadn't yet made it back. I beg your pardon? It seemed they'd been hunting for slaves in western Lanoche, and being so close to Ailport, our captor assumed they were out rounding up chattel until last bell. I just couldn't bear the thought of anyone else suffering as I have. Please, is there naught you can do? There certainly is, miss. You just get yourself safely home and leave this stray pack of jackals to us. I will pray for your success. Thank you again. So much for savoring a victory point. Send word this development to Underfoot and Astray. We've some well-earned trade for the last of these jolly merchants. By the by, how's your throwing, Armlin? I think it's time I learned you how to fling a proper blade. When you're out in the wide open roughments, what the fuck? You often find the need to sting a cove from a distance. And I'm sure a canny lass like yourself will figure all sorts of uses for a well-thrown dagger. Just keep it in mind for when we hunt down the rest of them slavers. As we learn, throwing dagger. Whoa! There's another quest, wow. That's kind of crazy. Let me go and put that on the spot that I usually have it on. Right. Those last few jolly merchant bastards must be camped out somewhere in Western Lanoche. Now, if I was a black-blooded, gill-grubbing slaver, where would I be hiding? There's not to the west, but there's a hog impulse, even though it's bollocks for brain pirates, no better than to trespass on fishback territory. And they won't want to chance running into patrols near airports, so that just leaves us east. A flock? Aye. They'll likely be nestled down in the ruins, out there among the dodos. That's where we'll try to pick up their trail. You head on over and snilch to the place while I send word to the sisters in the maelstrom. Alright. I think I'll do this one first, maybe? Sure. Whatever. Don't have any improvements in gear, so... Wow, another instance. Thank you for freeing us. We've been tied up here since those awful pirates snatched us from our beds. There's some interesting looking dodos you got there, Lynn. Those sound the merchants though, eh? Their leader mentioned heading over to Ailport. He'd said something about there being no signal, and that was a signal that something was wrong. They just left us hobbled here like lambs for the market, one of them japed about keeping the meat unsullied in case there was trouble. Pray let us flee this place before they return. I know you to just sidle in and set loose our art-won prizes, hmm? Okay, there we go. It was the damnedest thing. With half a crew lodging in Ailport, and not a one of them survived the night. Done it by a couple of sneaky curs what favored the short blades, they say. I'm supposing that was you two. Seems you've a bone to pick with our choice of trade. I can't say I've much of use for slavers, except a place to bury 'em in knives. Oh, and I wouldn't bother yourself with waiting on your ship to come back neither. The jolly merchants are done for. You might have the right of it, lad. But then you wouldn't know the kind of coin 3 healthy slavers like these ones will bring. I'll have a new ship and a crew before a single moon has passed. You hear that, chattel? You're each worth a shining bloody fortune, and give me thanks for helping you learn your true worth. Ignore this bleeding sod. In fact, why don't you step back a ways? These govs are about to learn the consequences of breaking the code, and the discussion is like to get messy. Did you not think we'd come for you? You can try to stifle your victim's screams in the darkments, but the shadows are always listening. Alright. Kill the healer! Dead. Always more of them. Yeah, kind of. Also, what the fuck are these dodos doing here? Move somewhat of a nasty peck. Keep your distance, yeah. It wants me to use my throwing dagger to kill those. Nah, whatever, I guess I can just... Yeah, I can just one-shot these enemies anyway. More donos. It's not that we're slaves, not bleeding farmers. Right, take them down one at a time. There we go. Let me go and use blood back for a sec. Get some HP back. I wanted to say MP, but that's wrong. Look at him healing himself. Ah yes, using that rogue skill, Cure 1. There we go. And down it goes. Underfoot is here to get underfoot. Or at least I would be if any bugger was left standing. That's a fine pot of corns. It's not for us to do. No scraps for latecomers. Alas, and me out of hunger. I do wonder if they at some point would show up or not. Don't remember. Thank you. I shudder to think what horrid fate awaited us had you not helped us to escape. I knew someone would come. You're just like the heroes in the stories. They always arrive at the perfect time and triumph over the villains. Do you think I could be a hero like you? I know I could be brave and strong too. I just know it. You don't want to be like me, lad. Listen now. Me and those coves there, we're the ones what the scary folk are afraid of. And that's because we keep the rules of the world they live in. We don't care if you shirk your chores or get into fights. But if you ever break the code and betray your mates, then that's what will come after you. That's when it will come after you. No matter how far you run or how well you hide. Live your life like the hero you want to be, though. And you'll never need to worry about that. Oi! You took a you can stumble it and all. I assume you are the citizens who were abducted by the Jolly Merchants? I'm Captain Milala of the Yellow Jackets Maelstrom Command. Maelstrom Command has entrusted me with conducting you to safety. It's alright, lad. These foxes take care of you. Go on. You best not get left behind. Was what else, Captain? Word on a new job? A job? From me? For you? How patently absurd. Why, I'd rather hire a sewer rat to mind my larder. Was it during one of your jobs that you turned Aleport into a slaughterhouse? What dark age is this that we must employ assassins to enforce the law? It is this continued dalliance with underworld miscreants such as you that prevent Lim Zalaminza from ever fully expunging the stain of piratical infection. Look at these weapons you bear. A civilized person uses such implements to carve meat or peel fruits, and leaves them at a table where they belong. Do you perhaps clench them twixt your teeth as you swing over the rails like the pirates you hunt? Wow. Our fair city has no place for those who refuse to abandon the brutish ways of the past. The only champions of justice this nation requires are the valiant and forthright soldiers of the Yellow Jackets. Jack, what the bloody hell does this girl want with us? I've not the foggiest idea, love. Just smile and nod. I've not come to be patronized. I've come to put a decisive end to piracy in all its forms. Consider this visit a gauntlet thrown at the collective feet of the Rogues Guild. Heed well my words. Just before dawn this very morn, a maelstrom vessel stocked with provisions was boarded and looted by pirates. Much of the cargo was stolen, and that is vexing indeed, but it is the theft of the 3 items in particular, 3 unique treasures of nigh incalculable worth, that most distressed my martial colleagues. As for the brigands, they made well their escape, disappearing into the dawn's mist along with their precious plunder. A rumtail. What's it to us? What's it to do with us? I challenge you, a contest to reclaim these stolen treasures. Should my Yellow Jackets and I succeed in retrieving the greatest share, I shall formally propose the abolition of the Rogues Guild. Upon review of our achievements, the Admiral will surely concede that your unscrupulous institution has outlived its usefulness. Blow it out your waddle. I've a better ways to spend my time. Oh, do you now? This incident constitutes a theft against the nation of Lim Zalaminza. Does it not violate your beloved code? If I'm not mistaken, you have no choice but to rise to the occasion. Unless, of course, you mean to slink back into your hole and abandon the fundamental precepts of your duty. Alright, you screeching shrew. I've made your bloody point. You'll be sorry what you did, I promise you that. Your paltry promises amount to nothing in the face of my conviction. I shall not rest until Lim Zalaminza is free of every last buccaneer, scoundrel, and shadow-dwelling ne'er-do-well. What now, Jack? For right now, we head back to the sisters. This episode is already really long. What the fuck? Oh, I know what he's doing. It's like, what the fuck is that? Anyway, I think I'm gonna end off the episode over here, people. Next episode, we're gonna go and finish off this quest. And we're also, of course, going to continue doing... I'm first going to do this one, and then we're going to finish off both of these quests. And then it's time for dungeons. Yay. Queuing. The game. Goodbye.